Welcome to One-on-One. I'm Greg Bassett, your host from the Salisbury Independent newspaper. It's a big day here at PAC 14. They're all big, but we're back at school, and from Wor-Wic Community College today, we have the Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Kristen Mallory. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm pleased to be here.
So how's the semester started off? How's the year going out at Wor-Wic?
It's going great. We've actually just finished our first week of classes. The students came back after Labor Day.
It's always good when they come back.
It is good when they come back. The parking lots are full. And we're excited because we've launched several new programs this year as well.
So what's new? Tell me what's new going on out there.
One of the things you may find exciting is that we've introduced a communications area of concentration, which pairs with our general studies program, so that allows our students to transfer to any type of communications program that could go into media production or video production or other types of communication. A general overall degree that's great for transferring.
That's interesting because I see a need for that because the journalism schools aren't what they were, and they kind of teach a different kind of thing, but there's a basic form of communication, basic form of what we used to call news writing that just doesn't seem to happen anymore.
Yes, well, this looked to be a very good opportunity for our students that expressed interest in making that type of career choice, and it is a transfer degree, so we're looking for the ability to partner with our universities.
Excellent. And I cut you off. There's other new stuff, sorry.
Oh, lots of new things. We have a STEM degree program that we're introducing. This is also a transfer degree, and so it's the programs that relate to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And this will allow students to enter as a freshman and sophomore and get their 2 years, get an associate's degree in a specific area of study, such as multiple concentrations, such as biology, engineering, mathematics, physics, chemistry, and pre-pharmacy. So these all transfer. They're very high-level mathematics and science-based courses that would transfer directly into a university as well.
Those are all things that I excelled at. So.
Oh, absolutely. Differential equations, yeah.
Whatever those are. Such a great campus out there, great vibe when you're on that campus. As an academic, you've been around a lot. What's it like to be on that campus?
It's a wonderful campus and a wonderful feeling. I have had the opportunity to be on multiple campuses, not just for working, but in my role as a peer evaluator with accrediting agencies that are for the various regions, either in our region here or in the previous region where I was. And I never encountered a campus like Wor-Wic's. It is a true college feel. It's a beautiful campus, very well maintained, and very well thought out. And I think the students appreciate that, and I know the employees do, the faculty and staff. We're all very appreciative of the campus itself. But it's not just the physical campus. If you look at the technology that we employ for our teaching, it offers wonderful opportunities for our students. Also new this year is we've started some visible body software, which really allows you to dig deep into the anatomical studies, and various touchscreen modalities for students to be able to learn, and they can take snapshots of a QR code to get the picture of the notes that were just produced during the class. So it's all new technologies mixed in with our standard teaching technologies, and so the inside and out of the campus works very well for our students.
Yeah, so many people go to school online, but I think you need the vibe of a campus to really accentuate your learning experience.
Well, I think there's room for both. We have a lot of students actually that take online and in-person classes. It just works better for their commitments that they have throughout the week. More than half of our students work 20 hours or more a week, so it's a big commitment for students to go to school. Another new program that starts actually in the spring will employ the distance learning, and that's Computer Tomography. And that's the only program on the shore that offers that specialized certificate in an imaging where students do have to have a radiologic technology license or other imaging license to complete this, but they can do their coursework online and then have clinical practice locally. So it's a very exciting opportunity starting in the spring as well.
I think regionally that's what Wor-Wic is best known for, the nursing program and the x-ray program that goes on. So many of the people who work in that profession here locally, the healthcare needs, came through Wor-Wic.
We have a wonderful array of healthcare programs. We actually have programs that students can enter through our continuing education and workforce development area, where they come in and maybe take certified nursing assistant or EKG or phlebotomy, a health-related field that they can get a credential and employment immediately. And then they can also use that to jumpstart their application process into those health programs like nursing or radiologic technology, emergency medical services, physical therapy assistant, occupational therapy assistant. All of those programs are selective missions. So if you have that jump start with the initial credential, it helps in going through the application process. And the health programs have all been very successful. We're looking at physical therapy and EMS having 100% job placement rates, and then 100% passage rates for our occupational therapy and radiologic therapy, our technologists graduates as well. So there's wonderful opportunities. On our nursing program as well, the students, the associate degree of nursing students, I would say 49% of them go on to baccalaureate studies as well. So they can start working, earning money, and continue their degree studies.
Yeah, you hear this story in the community all the time. Someone's got kind of a menial job or something they're not quite happy in. They go to Wor-Wic nursing program, and then suddenly they've got a great profession just through their association with Wor-Wic.
Yes, and we're very proud of our nursing graduates and all of our healthcare graduates. They have a very good program reputation for good reason. We have excellent faculty and we have excellent facilities to also help with that learning, not only the technologies that I talked about earlier, but also the various simulation mannequins that provide real world simulations without worrying about real world consequences if you don't quite get it right the first time.
One of the things we saw in the last recession is that people lost their jobs. They flocked to Wor-Wic to get retrained in something new for the future. Economy bounced back, and maybe we're about to go through that again in some kind of there's talk of a recession again, not to the degree of the one that we had. But are you guys prepared? Do you think about stuff like that, like having to retrain the local workforce?
We do. That's what we do as a community college. It's very important that we stay in touch with the community and the needs. And so we're constantly reaching out to find out what we can do to offer the training that will be necessary, planning ahead. And it is a challenge as we're building and preparing to build for the Applied Technology Building, reaching out ahead of time, 4 years prior to ever having a start, on identifying the programs that we anticipate will be needed in the future. But that's just what we do as a community college. We're here to make sure the community stays viable, and we can do that through our partnerships with the various industries.
I'm glad you mentioned Applied Technology, because as a reporter, I use the show to actually do some reporting. So one of the things that I remember in the capital budget every year, there was a big chunk of money in the county's budget for the Applied Technology Building, and I would get excited, oh, they're going to build this building, and I call over there, and Dr. Ray Hoy, the president, would say, we just keep it, we park it in the capital budget, but we're not going to need that thing for years. Well, years is here. Now's the time. We need this building now.
We're very excited. We hope to have approval fully through the vetted process with the state very soon, so that we can start in the drawing phase, or the bidding phase that goes out. Opening maybe December of 22. I would love to think that, but realistically, probably fall of 23. So it's far away, but not that far.
Right.
We know what we want to do to make this happen. It'll be a building that's a little different. It'll still match and blend in with the campus, but it'll have a little different as far as the interior will be. The high bays, lots of visibility, because we're going to need to have big access for the equipment that we'll be using that can come in and out, and offer different opportunities to train what's needed at the time.
Those of us who have been here way too long remember when Wor-Wic was classes were conducted in trailers and in little shopping center storefronts and stuff like that. But now the buildings out there have such a great purpose, and I think when the people who are in there learning, they feel like they're part of something really special, and they're able to focus on their studies.
Oh, absolutely. And actually, I was a part of that, the College Without Walls. I taught a dental assisting course back in the late 80s, and I'm not sure, somewhere along 13, I believe, is where we held those classes in a dental office. So having the opportunity now to have a campus that secures and collects all the learning environments is very exciting.
So many people that I encounter, their kids are in college, in the traditional college, they're struggling. They made bad decisions when they were seniors about where they should go. The parental pressure was there. And I've always thought it was because parents wanted to be able to brag at parties about what their kids were up to, when really maybe they needed to go to Wor-Wic for a year or 2 years and use that as a gateway to make a better decision. Do you see that happening?
Myself, I went to Montgomery Community College my first year.
Which is a great community college.
I did that in preparation. Actually, it was because I had to pay for 2 years, and I decided that's what I wanted to pay for.
Yeah.
And it was a wonderful opportunity for me to then transfer to where my goal had been. And that's an opportunity as well for the students here. Some may not be quite sure what they want to do yet. Perfect. Come to Wor-Wic. Take the courses, the general education courses, they transfer. You can also explore various areas of other studies, see what else is out there in health industries and computers and business. Anything that might be of their interest, pick up a class here or there. Or they can go through the workforce and development area and just see what might interest them in that regard. If you think about it, Wor-Wic is 40% less tuition than the universities. So
Yeah.
it's almost like you could get a whole year of college free, or more than that,
Yeah.
and then transfer on to complete your degree.
And it helped my daughter this summer. She's an accounting finance major at Towson. She was a freshman. She got in there. She was in over her head a little bit, didn't like a class. She dropped it, went down to 12 credits. I was like, okay, now you're behind. What are you going to do? She said, I'll go to Wor-Wic this summer and I'll take a class. And she did that, so she's all caught up now. But Wor-Wic was really there to help her, and she got the same classes she would have had at Towson.
Yeah, my daughter did a similar thing, and having the opportunity to take the courses when the students are back home, actually. We're very happy to be able to provide that opportunity for students. The other thing we can provide for students who want to start with us and go anywhere is a very small...
That would be a good slogan for the college.
It would be. I don't know where I've heard that before.
Start here, go anywhere. I like that.
Perfect. But the opportunity for students to take classes in small settings, a small student-faculty ratio. I don't believe we have any classroom that has more than 50 students, very few of those. Most average between, I would say, 14 to 25 students. And so our faculty are engaged and they're interested in helping our students. It's very personal for our faculty. They want to be there helping guide these students along the way. So for students that want that kind of experience, it is the ideal place to start their education.
3 years ago, we thought we were being really innovative in this county. We started the scholarship program where the high school kids could go to Wor-Wic at a discount or under a scholarship. But now it's sort of the rage in community college systems in terms of states helping to finance these scholarship programs. Where does that stand now? If I've got a high school kid in Wycomico County and I want Wor-Wic as an option, what are my options in this scholarship program?
Oh, the Maryland Promise Scholarship Program. It's kicked off this year, kind of a slow start. There were a lot of bumps to get over, but the options are to have your tuition covered. And there's very few restrictions. You have to have a certain grade point average, like a 2.3 grade point average. You need to have a certain income level. If it's a single family home, it's $100,000. If it's a dual income, then it's $150,000. And you need to take the 12 credit hours or more and maintain a certain grade point average. I believe it's a 2.5. But to do all this, you do have to complete the FAFSA form and do that ahead of time. So any student who's thinking that's in high school at this point in time can start as a junior, start thinking about when to apply through their FAFSA, and definitely as a senior, get that underway, and then there's multiple scholarship opportunities that open up once you've completed that general form. So we're hoping that that program will continue to expand and offer these opportunities that actually across the nation it is the trend to have free community college.
Right, and it keeps the expense thing from being an excuse not to get a better education.
Absolutely. And there are scholarships in various areas that you can look at. We have multiple foundation scholarships that are available depending on what you want to study as well. So really it should not be a barrier. Sometimes the challenge is time, trying to work between your work schedule and,
Right.
and how to take classes. And again, that's where our online programs and classes help. We do have the chemical dependency program that's offered fully online, and we do have our general education program as well.
The other thing that the high school kids here do locally is they take some of the college classes while they're in high school. How does that program work?
It can work many ways. We have students that come on campus to take their high school classes, either just a class here or there as they start usually as a junior or senior, or we offer the courses in the high school in all 3 counties. So there are various high schools that offer English, history. They're usually considered dual enrollment classes where the student gets both high school credit, but they follow our curriculum, and so it's also a college credit that is transcribed, and the faculty go through a vetting process. Sometimes it's our faculty teaching, and sometimes it's the high school faculty who have been certified to be able to offer a college level course. We have increased that enrollment tremendously. I think we're over 550 students this year, so it's a continual growth project, opportunity for students to just gain those credit hours before even graduating high school. Sometimes, and hopefully, they can actually get a degree as well. We're working on that with our gaming and information technology programs. Students can start in early college, and we have a small cohort doing that.
My kids always did the summer camps, just so impressed by that. And since then, they're well past that, but I've made a point of going back every summer and just taking the tour and watching the kids in the camp just to see what's going on. I missed it this year, but the campus was nice enough to send me some really nice photos, which we ran in the paper. There's some really amazing things that are going on in these camps. I remember when I was a kid at 8, 9 years old, we were not working with computers. We were not using 3D printers. Certainly, it's just amazing what's going on in the cooking area. They're making food. Talk about the camp situation this summer.
The Summer Scholars Program.
Right.
It's 4 weeks of wonderful, vibrant activity on campus.
And it is vibrant. That's a
Very
great word.
vibrant. As
Yeah.
these
My son built a rocket. I mean, it was just amazing. But go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah.
They might be flying drones or building rockets or rebuilding computers. There was a great presentation on a sound engineering program where the students made their own music through engineering the sound waves. There's cooking classes where they can create and learn how to work with the various foods, and culturally related as well. So there is really anything available for students that are working toward not just a summer camp program, but where they can learn. These are programs for gifted students to be able to continue their summer learning activities.
It's a great thing, and I would encourage parents to be aware of it and check it out because it's truly a great thing.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned you started at Montgomery College.
I did.
But what is your story? Where did you come from? How did we get you here?
I'm actually a comeback here.
Okay.
I did grow up in a small area, Damascus, Maryland, and after graduation, my husband and I chose Salisbury to land in, and I started working as a registered dental hygienist. That's my 2 undergraduate degrees.
Wow.
So I was able to practice.
So you've been
locally.
probably checking out my crossbite the whole time.
Oh, you know, I am. I say that and people start talking to me like this. But I really enjoyed that professional aspect and the clinical portions of it. But I also had the opportunity, I mentioned, to start teaching for Wor-Wic. I did some non-credit courses in dental radiography and dental assisting for some of the local dentists here. When we moved, after 11 years, my husband had worked for Dresser Industries, and they had relocated us. And so
And you didn't go to Austin?
I didn't. We did a stop off. They took us to North Carolina first.
Okay.
But then they started talking about Austin or someplace in California, and we just decided it was time to make a move of our own. So we took a detour for about 19 years in West Virginia.
Wow.
And kids launched and the opportunities showed up here, and I just knew this is where I needed to be.
That's great. And obviously you're enjoying it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel so much at home here, and it's the true, sincere appreciation for doing things for students, learning, the appreciation of people working for each other for the common good, and it's a teamwork. It's a wonderful atmosphere at Wor-Wic.
Do you get the feeling the community understands what goes on at Wor-Wic and appreciates the jewel that that thing is?
I think sometimes it's hard to appreciate what's there all the time. You might not have the same appreciation that I have coming from an outside area where I worked in a college environment, and I also had the opportunity to visit multiple colleges throughout my previous academic career, that until you see what else is out there, you may not realize what's actually right here. So perhaps that's why I still have that glow. I feel that this is just something that we could appreciate more as a community, but I think people know about it. We just have to remind them every once in a while.
Yeah, it really is a gateway to education on so many levels. You walk in there, and it's like walking into an airport and looking at the destination board, and you can choose so many different directions that you want to take. And I don't think people really realize that the opportunities that are in front of them all the time.
Many, many opportunities at the college as well. And even if you're not going to go into continuing education or workforce development or through an academic program, we do have the Criminal Justice Academy as well that trains all the law enforcement agency and correction officers in the area.
I was going to mention that. What a success that is. I mean, all up and down the shore, all the agencies send recruits. Just a tremendous success story in terms of what goes on there.
Very much so.
Talking about law enforcement, there's a great program with ECI, the Second Chance program. Tell me about that.
Oh, we are so excited. We just had our first graduating class where 5 inmates had completed the program of study in hotel, motel, restaurant management through the Second Chance Pell. And we have faculty that travel to ECI to help provide the educational opportunities for the inmates. They have to be within 5 years of release. And so these first 5 did finish, and for the graduation ceremony itself, we were able to have the international student for Phi Theta Kappa come and be the speaker, who actually is a student in Delaware, who is an ex-felon.
Wow.
PTK recently opened up the ability for felons or those that are no longer incarcerated to be able to participate in their honor society. So in addition to all 5 that completed the program, those 5 were inducted into PTK, as were 3 additional students who are going through the program at this time. So we're very excited about that. The faculty really appreciate the ability to teach in an environment that the students have such high goals and hopes, and it provides an ability for these inmates to have something to look forward to and be employable upon reentry.
Yeah, as a society, I've always thought, we talk about rehabilitating people, but then we never really do it. We don't give them the opportunity. That's a heavy lift. That's a hard job for someone to do.
It is. It is. The challenge is not just getting faculty to go there, but you have to have, it's a little extra time because you have to go through the entrance and exit procedures as would be expected. But you also don't have the resources that you have. I talked about all the wonderful technology we have on campus. The students that are at ECI do not have that. In fact, while they may be able to work on calculators during the class itself, once that class is over, every bit of homework they do is by hand. So imagine doing your math homework strictly by hand with no calculator or
No, that's how I used to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Way back in the 70s when we used to go to school. You mentioned the drug treatment program. That's something that's new. And again, that's identifying a problem in the community. We need counselors, people who can do treatment, and you guys are offering something.
We do. We have a chemical dependency program that is both the certificate and the associate degree, and those courses are available online as well. It's an approved, fully online program. And students that complete that degree program have met the educational requirements to become supervised counselors in alcohol and drugs. So it's a huge program. We have many, many majors because there's a huge need.
Now, how do you all identify these needs that are coming up or just over the horizon that you know the community is going to need training, education in a certain area? How does that process work?
Well, we maintain our contacts with the community and with the industry and make sure that we're always asking what keeps you up at night.
I see that with Dr. Hoy out socially or at the chamber, the Rotaries. He's always asking people in business, like, what's going on with your employees? What do you need? What can we do? And that's really smart.
Yes, and 2 years ago, when I first came, we had a healthcare sector meeting where we brought in the CEOs and the HR managers for all the area hospitals and health facilities, and we asked them that question: what keeps you up at night? What can we do to help? And from that, we were able to develop a specified training program that met the needs of the local employers. We're doing the same thing coming up for the hospitality industry, and we will continue that focus with our sector meetings to always make sure we're asking the right questions.
So I'm a junior in Wycomico County school system. I've got a college decision to make next year when I'm a senior. What are you going to advise me? What are you going to make sure that I know?
Well, you need to make sure that you fill out the FAFSA for sure, and that you've explored all the opportunities. If you are interested in a certain program, can you transfer directly there? So if you know for sure, I want to go to this university or that university, save yourself some money, save yourself some time, have a wonderful learning experience, and come to Wor-Wic first. Get that associate degree and transfer directly to your university. But you do need to make sure that you've taken the correct courses that you need to take in high school. You know, if you want to go into the healthcare field, make sure you've taken every opportunity of the biology courses or the anatomy courses that are available in high school. If you have the opportunity to take the dual enrollment courses either at your high school or you want to come in the evening to Wor-Wic, pick up a few college credits as well. We have students now that have entered with 23, 29, 32 credit hours from just recently graduating from high school.
Wow.
And they've picked them up along the way.
So tell me about this guided pathways thing.
We are reformulating how our students enter through Wor-Wic and how they complete. We really want to help our students guide through their path and their choice for their careers. So through our Guided Pathways initiative, which we've kicked off last year and we're well into it, we're not complete yet, we are evaluating and reformulating how our programs are identified. For instance, all the healthcare programs are under the healthcare pathway. If a student wants to come in and study something in the healthcare, but they're not really sure what they want to do, they can explore the different degree options or the continuing education options, non-credit options within that pathway and be directed still along the way. So they don't lose time trying to figure out what they want to do. They have a general idea. But it's also a way of helping them in their career choices. We have multiple opportunities to take assessments that help students decide what they might want to do in the future, what will be their career opportunity. So we're going to change how we advise and how we onboard. We call onboarding students when they come on into the campus to make sure they have access to all these opportunities, have access to the career counseling, have access to the assessments that help them see where their strengths lie so they can go into the path that best fits their study, and from there they can focus directly either on a specific degree or earn the general education degree to transfer on.
She's Dr. Kristen Mallory. She's the Vice President of Academic Affairs at Wor-Wic Community College, and we're thrilled she had time to be here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm Greg Bassett from the Salisbury Independent Newspaper, another edition of 101 right here on PAC 14.
First Shore Federal is proud to support PAC 14 and one-on-one. We'd encourage every business to support PAC 14 and pick a program and support it, and let's make a difference.